Hello book lovers! Today is One Page Wednesday, so we are only focusing on One Page Wednesday. Nothing else, nothing, forever cocky. Anyway, stay tuned and we'll get right to it.
I don't do it by the book, no, I do my own thing. That's why every single hook got them singing like me. And I ain't in any rush, cause I'm finally getting paid. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah.
I am totally not trying for a Sour Patch Kids brand deal. I promise. I mean, I wouldn't object to one, but anyway. Alright, let's get straight to what we've all been waiting for, which is the winner from last week's One Page Wednesday. Here we go.
To see if I succeed, to see if I believe they're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now.
So a big, huge congratulations to Teal Reeves and Michelle Ryan with Calkin. Here is the blurb for Calkin, which actually sounds so awesome. It's coming out next month, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Keely Blue River is not doing a very good job hiding out. After being viciously attacked, she and her sister Danielle pack up and move across the country to Window Rock, Arizona. But Simon found them before, and he'll do it again. How and when are the only questions. Calkin Rafferty, alpha of the Rafferty pack, has spent his life protecting his family and pack from outside threats. He believes his time for finding a mate is past. Who would want an old alpha wolf? A chance meeting puts Calkin face to face with his destiny, and now he can't get the blonde-haired, hazel-eyed woman out of his mind. His wolf is poised to claim her, but with danger lurking around every corner, is he willing to risk everything to have her? I'm definitely going to be grabbing that as soon as it's out. I'm going to post the website for Teal Reeves and Michelle Ryan in the description, and you could check out the books that way, or keep an eye on their socials for when this goes up. I was really excited to read this page, so I could have waited until close to the release date, but though, if you're looking for a summer read, you've got one coming. Now it's time to introduce our 5 authors for this week's One Page Wednesday. And here they are.
I wanna say something, yeah. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know where she came from, but goddamn, I wanna say something. She a dime, wanna make her mine. Heard through the grapevine, she a great time. Yeah, it should be a goddamn crime to look that damn fine. Gotta lock her up and throw away the key, or you could lock her up and give the key to me. Take it down low, drop it down to the ground floor. I just wanna go and explore. Ooh, baby, I just want more, I want more. Got a body like a rock star. Yeah, that shit is looking rock hard, yeah, rock hard. I would put her on the roster, cause she keeps on getting hotter and hotter. Ooh, baby, let's go. She doesn't take it slow, she's putting on a show. She's acting like a pro. Oh, baby, let's go. She doesn't take it slow, she's putting on a show.
There are some new names in there and some that you might be familiar with. Make sure that you listen to all of these and give all the authors a fair chance. But in the end, you vote for your favorite. So let's start with the first one. This one is Dark Thoughts by Cynthia Sachs. Don't lie to me. Her eyelids partially lowered, the physical acknowledgement of his dominance pleasing his primal nature. You know what I'm thinking. She slid her tongue over her bottom lip, wetting her flesh. He tracked the movement with his gaze, achingly aware of her, of the need to possess this female, to subdue her. His brain warned him she was dangerous. His body didn't care. What are you? I wouldn't lie to you, Crawley. He liked the way she said his name. He didn't like that he didn't know hers. I'm human. She moved within his reach. An intriguing vitality surrounded her, calling to him. He'd been alone for so long, solitary, emotionally isolated, unable to touch another human being without causing damage, without killing. I was born with a brain telepaths can't access. She verified that exciting fact. A powerful humanoid part of him couldn't harm her. He'd never met a being like her. That's why I was chosen. She swirled her fingertips over her right shoulder, tracing the aligned sun, moon, planet embossed on her body covering. It was a symbol of the Dark Veil, a guild of assassins. She was a monster as he was, trained to end lives, violent and soulless. His desire for her escalated. What are you? She smiled up at him. I'm not a mere telepath. His psychic abilities exceeded any type of measurement. I'm unlike anything you've ever encountered. She lifted her chin. You don't know what I've encountered. You haven't encountered anything like me. Crawley was certain of that fact. I'm the beast hunting you in your nightmares, the fear you feel in the dark, the prickling over the back of your neck when you think you're alone. He gazed down at her, fighting the urge to grab her, to sink his fangs into her pale neck. I'm not a male you play with, little one. Yeah. This doesn't surprise me because the way Cynthia Sachs writes, it's definitely something that will draw you in and give you a taste of a genre that you might not read often, but this is an interesting mix of something kind of dark and some sci-fi. So make sure to check that one out. Next up, we have The Lycan Chronicles by Nancy A. Lopes. When they got to Mateo's Packlands, one of the first things Theo noticed was how incredibly massive they were. The lands themselves contained a small village where each of the pack members called home. The rest of the land was used when the pack went back for a run or even wanted to blow off steam. Reaching the iron-wrought large gate that stood between the outside world and the rest of the Packlands, Theo and Mackenzie were met by a small group of 4 men, all wearing the same suspicious expressions on their faces. Stepping closer, Theo came face to face with who he assumed was the leader of this group. Mackenzie followed closely behind, peering over his shoulder. May I help you? The man asked, his broad arms crossed across his chest. We're here to see Alpha Kyle. Are you? And what business do you have with him? That's between me and him, Theo said, sidestepping the man and heading to the gate. Mackenzie closely followed behind. Not so fast. Either you tell me what your business is, or you and your lovely friend can just turn around and leave. I told you, Theo said. I need to speak to Alpha Kyle. This information is solely meant for him. Just then, as they continued to stare one another down, a new voice joined theirs. What's going on here? Having heard the commotion, Mateo had come down to the gate. These 2 are trying to get in and they won't say why. Sighing, Mateo glanced over at Theo in exasperation, then looked back at the man. The one who you were having a shouting match with? The one who you refused to let in? Mateo said. He's my cousin and the alpha of the pack in Toronto. The man's eyes widened in surprise, as he soon became very embarrassed. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't know, he stuttered out. Why didn't you ask me? You know I was a waiting guest. I'm sorry, Alpha, it won't happen again. See that it doesn't. I love shifter stories. And this sounds good. Also, the author is a big sweetheart, so that might make me, no, I don't get biased about books, but this one sounds really good, so make sure to check it out. Next up, we have Henry and Gracie. 9 years ago, I'd never gone on a blind date. Actually, I've always been that girl who laughs at people who talk about blind dates, as if this was the most amazing way to meet people. However, there is always a first time. In an effort to keep my nerves under control, I reached for the champagne flute that Frankie poured for me, but is still untouched. He clicks his tongue. Obediently, I let my hands clasp together over my lap, after returning the glass to the vanity and sigh, defeated. "So, who is this guy you invited to sweep me off my feet?" I ask, mildly curious. The truth is that I'm in no shape to start dating again. Not after what happened with Jared. "I've told you twice, Gracie." His answer carries some exasperation, which in turn makes me apologize with a lame sorry. Kirk Bielan's classic Mercy is playing downstairs as our friend Mark is welcoming guests to my 21st. In the meantime, I'm trying to sit as patiently as I can and wait for Frankie to finish applying what looks like copious amounts of eyeshadow to my eyes. "Henry Huntington III," Frankie adds, his footsteps announcing that he's moved back to the vanity, and I groan inwardly, hoping he's not putting more makeup on me. "The third? Wow," I reply, fixing him with a mischievous smile, hoping he doesn't get hung up on the sarcasm dripping from my voice. However, Frankie knows me oh so well. He shoots me a chiding look before I close my eyes again. "Yes, but you won't have to curtsy." There's a smile in his voice as he teases me. At least I know he's not mad. "He's 28 and perfect for you to get over Jared," he declares, making it sound as if I was dying of a broken heart. "I am over Jared," I protest, keeping my eyes closed. It's a lie, of course. But it's better than admitting out loud that I'm still hurting. One of the things that I am really, really loving about One Page Wednesday is that there are so many different kinds of books. I love reading widely. I love reading all kinds of stories. And this author I met recently on Twitter, and she is a big, huge sweetheart. And I'm actually looking forward to reading my first book from her. So this one, it will definitely hold my interest. 2-on-1 Breakaway by Cassandra Carr. Ian snaked a hand around the back of her neck and she didn't protest as he kissed her. Ian's jeans tightened. He had never figured out why watching his friend share a woman with him was such a turn on, but he long ago ceased fighting the emotion. When Ian let her go, she smiled shyly up at Derek. "Can I kiss you?" Derek asked. "Yeah, it's sort of weird. I've never done this. It's always been, I don't know, something interesting to imagine, but I never thought I'd get the opportunity to try. Now you'll know if it's really alluring or if it's just the idea." "I guess I will." Derek stepped closer, brushing her long brown hair over her shoulder. Leaning down, he cupped her cheek and brought their lips together. He didn't want to scare her, so Derek kept his touch light despite every cell in his body screaming to take the interaction further, to kiss Haley deeper. She responded, pushing closer to him. Her hands took hold of his waist and tightened. His eyes opened. Ian stood behind her, his head buried in the crook between her shoulder and neck. Haley let out a little squeak, and both men backed off immediately. Waving a hand in front of her flushed face, Haley said, "I've never had one guy kissing me in one place and another somewhere else." Obviously, a nervous laugh escaped her. "Is it wrong that I like it?" "No, sweetie, that's not wrong. I love me a good menage romance, especially one that develops the relationship properly, and this one sounds like it does. So you definitely need to check it out." And here we have the latest from Cherise Sinclair. This is Beneath the Scars. Josie was losing control of the situation. No, she wasn't going to get pressured into a chat. She set her hands on her hips. "Listen, Master Holt, I'm an employee here and not at your beck and call for a chat or a scene or anything. His expression didn't change, as if her words had hit a shield and bounced off. No scene, merely a chat. An honest one. Honest? You? Her laugh came up bitter. As she turned her back on him, her gaze ran right into Master Z's. Oh, damn. A bartender's personal life was never supposed to affect her work. Talk about unprofessional. She pulled in a breath. Can I get you a drink, sir? Master Z studied her for a long, uncomfortable moment. As an employee, you are not required to participate in any activities here. However, you did, and there appears to be a problem. No, he kept talking. A submissive may always say no to a scene, or any advances for that matter. However, if a master wishes to discuss a problem, especially one related to a session in the Shadowlands, you are required to listen and be respectful. She stared at him in dismay. Seriously? Running straight for the exit would be immature. Still, note to self, no more scenes in this place. Ever. Then again, since you'd sworn off men, that shouldn't be a problem, right? And her boss was still waiting for her response. How someone could be both reasonable and terrifying, she didn't know. He sure hadn't left her any choice. It seemed she'd be talking with Holt. Fine. Of course, Master C. I'll listen and be respectful, she said, ever so politely. His lips quirked. Oh, he thought this was funny. Jaw tight, she turned. Master Holt, if you wish to speak with me, I'm ready. Very good. His teal blue eyes held no amusement. This is definitely going to be another week where I'm glad I'm on this side. And I just get to actually, I've already enjoyed that one. Not bragging or anything. But if you haven't read it, or if you haven't read anything by Cherise Sinclair, get on that. This book, like all of them, just has these amazing characters and amazing storylines, and, well, if you're looking for something to read, you won't be disappointed. You're gonna have a hard time voting, though. Luck. So that is our 5 submissions for One Page Wednesday. You can find the link to vote down below. You can also find the link to add your own submissions down there and just fill it out. And I try to have a nice variety every week, so people seem to be enjoying this. Also, quick little update. I had actually planned to do this in the last video, but I always try to make it so that the videos are very focused on whatever I'm talking about. So I didn't mention my own new release that I have, which is the full set of the Deadly Captive books. You can see right here. It's got a new cover and it's all pretty, and it's also going to print with the whole set. So if you want to grab that, the link will also be down below. If you enjoy these videos and you feel like supporting me, the Ko-Fi link is down below. Make sure to comment, let me know what you think about this video, let me know what you thought about your favorite, and oh yeah, like, subscribe, ring that little bell, and I'll see you in the next video.